welcome Nerdboxes to this very special live stream presentation. And if you haven't tuned in before, we only do these on occasion. The first one was the first ever reunion of the girl and cheerleader in the bathroom from Scream 1996. And the second was from the day after Terrifier 2 released in theaters with Steve Barton and Felissa Rose. So for this third one here, what we're going to talk about today is an upcoming film that you can help support, and that is The Colored River. Now, unfortunately for this live stream event, we will not have our lovely host, Jen or Donna Jean, to be here, but I will be moderating in the background and in the comments. So we will be joined by a very special guest host, Catherine LaSalle. And without further ado, let's get to it.
Well, hello everyone. Thank you so much. Huge shout out to Nerdbox for all of his technical support and for helping to set up this incredible night that we have in store, everybody. And thank you for that introduction. My name is Catherine LaSalle, and it is my absolute privilege to be here tonight, joining the creative team of upcoming psycho horror Colored River, very appropriately Friday the 13th, friends. So if you are watching this from Twitter, Facebook, or several of the YouTube channels that we are streaming to currently, thank you so much for being here and helping me support this incredible team of creatives and filmmakers. We have an amazing panel in store. I am joined by several of the creative team, and it's going to be wonderful. And I just want to stress, this is interactive, so we would love to hear from any of you watching. If you have any questions about the film, how you can support, I'm sure you can see already, support the campaign at supportourstory.com/coloredriver. This is a interactive fundraising event, and there are some special prizes in store if you happen to donate this evening. So without further ado, I would like to welcome you to the Colored River live stream event, and we have a very special crowdfunding video to share with you all. So
hello, my name's Olivia Celine, and I am the writer and director of Colored River. This story is about Lily Tesh, a young, prolific, macabre-obsessed author who's working to finish her next horror novel, and Teddy, a ravenous reporter who's obsessed with Lily's life and her works. As the two spend more time together, Lily's violent family history and dark past come to light, and Teddy learns just how far Lily has gone to make sure her art embodies real life. This film is a psychodrama that explores family trauma, internal pain, the exploitation of the black body, and the sacrificial lengths that artists go to perfect their craft. I'm a huge horror fan, but growing up, I didn't see many spaces created for people of color or black women specifically in the genre. And I want to be able to help do that. Create a space where black women's stories are told, because we lived in one of the most nuanced existences there are, and our stories should be told, and they should be limitless. If you believe in this film as much as I do, then your support will not only be going to the making of the film, but also to the wonderful cast and crew who are helping this dream become a reality. Thank you for supporting a film about facing the truth. And who doesn't like a good story about facing your demons?
I just love that so much. Isn't she amazing? Well, thank you so much to everyone again for being here. That was our very own Olivia Celine. We are going to be joined tonight by her. She is the writer and leading actress of Colored River. So I'd love to welcome her and the director, Mr. Daniel Lugo.
Hi, Catherine.
Hello.
Lugo. I should also mention, Olivia is just one of my dear friends, and she inspires me on a regular basis. And Lugo, I am so incredibly excited to be here with you as well. You have a tremendous experience in this the filmmaking industry, so I'm so looking forward to hearing more about it and just being in your presence, fresh off of set with Liam Neeson, I might add. Everybody, I couldn't resist.
Everybody loves Liam.
Yes, but also the likes of Ron Perlman as well, correct? If my research is not failing. Yes, like so honored to be here with you both. So Olivia, what can you tell us about this project? You're inspiration and the horror genre in general, what it is that draws you to it.
Yeah, awesome. Thank you so much, Catherine, first of all, for hosting, as well as Dave from Nerdbox. I'm so appreciative. And Ludo joining us tonight. And everyone in the live audience, it's nice to meet you all and welcome you to the Colored River family. So basically, horror has always been just, it's always drawn me in because I think oftentimes it's a genre that forces us to face a lot of the darker things that we don't want to talk about, that we don't want to address. And so, like, you know, you have obviously like awesome like thrills and slashers and like jump scares and suspense, but like horror also opens the doors for a lot of harder conversations that, you know, we wouldn't have otherwise. And so that's one of the reasons why I've always been drawn to it. And for this project, Colored River specifically, I was inspired by it from Malcolm Gladwell's 10,000 Hours, like that idea that any artist pursuing their craft, they can't become a master of their craft until they've spent 10,000 hours doing it.
Mm-hmm.
And as an actress myself, as a creative myself, like anyone in the industry, anyone who knows that there's a cost to those 10,000 hours that nobody talks about. You know, we often glorify the end result without talking about the muddiness of like what's in between that. And so Colored River just honestly talks about the muddiness that's in between that and the line that we sometimes all walk when we have to, like I said, face our demons. We all are faced with the question of, do we become better than them or do we become them? You know, which I think we all walk that line sometimes. And so, yeah, and like just with the mission of Colored River, I really want to create a space for women in horror more, but also Black women specifically, because you don't really see us. We don't ever get to be what's called like the final girls. We're either like the sidekick, you know what I'm saying, the ghetto sidekick, or we get killed off early. We don't really, you know, get our narratives told. And like I said, I believe we lived in one of the most nuanced existences that there are here in society. And so, as Octavia Butler said, you know, we got to write ourselves in. We have to create our own worlds. And like, that's what I'm here to do, tell our stories, because our voices are vivid, our stories are vivid. So, yeah.
Oh my gosh, that is so amazing. And it's clear like how passionate you are. I'm so curious. So you're obviously an incredible writer, and it's something that you've done before and you're passionate about. Is this your first production that you are working on? So did you know, sorry, go ahead.
I was just gonna say, yeah, this is my first. Yeah.
Yes. So like, did you know going into it that you wanted to do something in the horror genre, or was that the intention from the start, or did it spiral into that?
So, you know, I started writing like many of us started things like during the pandemic. I think it gave us a lot of time to tap into those other things that we had fed into before. And so, honestly, I was inspired by a mentor of mine, and just like the relationship that I had with them, and the admiration I had for them kind of drove me to write this story, because I originally wrote Colored River in probably like a night, to be honest with you.
Really?
Yeah. Original. Yeah. Yeah, I wrote the original one in like one night. I was actually sitting next to my mom at my desk, and she was like asleep because it was like 3 a.m. And she was like, "What are you doing?"
I'm in the zone. Don't bother me.
And so it's just, I think it was kind of born out of like the stressors and like the fears of what was happening all around us at the time, but then also, you know, fueled by that relationship and the passion I found for writing through my relationship with my mentor at the time, who was my writing mentor. So, yeah.
So I didn't know that there was life experience to this. Of course, obviously, with creative endeavors, it's easier to...
Yeah. To a certain extent, right?
Right, yeah.
Yeah.
To a certain extent. Yeah, not
Should
too much.
disclaim that. Should disclaim that.
Yeah,
Yes. Well, thank you for like sharing so much. I'm so excited about this project, and I have the pleasure of knowing a little bit more of what it's about, and I can assure you all it's going to be incredible, and I'm just so excited to be here to help you promote it and talk about it. So yes, if you have not already, check out again. We have the link at the bottom if you are interested in supporting the campaign. We do have a goal, and again, there is a special raffle in store. One entry, or rather one donation, equals one ticket to be entered into a raffle in which you will have the chance to speak privately with Lugo, who we are going to talk to next. And I should mention Marcus, who I know some of you are excited about Terrifier 2. So if you are interested at all in talking to these creatives privately, you have the opportunity to win if you enter this evening. So without further ado, yes, Lugo, again, thank you so much for being here. Your history in the filmmaking industry is very extensive, and again, you have worked with the likes of Liam Neeson, Ron Perlman, like huge names. I would love to hear more about your, whatever you want to share, your history in the industry, and as well as what drew you to the Colored River project.
It just makes me feel like I'm old. I'm being honest.
So extensive history.
I've been in the DGA for about 7-8 years. Came up the ranks, went to film school. The old story. Went to film school, started working in the film industry, working at a post-production house that did infomercials. It was a slow-crushing job. I turned 30 years old, and I figured I could either keep doing this for the rest of my life, or I could try doing production work. And I took a vacation, and I made $50 on an indie feature. And I decided to quit my regular job, and I worked my way up the ranks. And along the way, you work on all kinds of different types of movies. Did a lot of horror stuff back in the day, very small budget. So definitely have experience in that regard. Just kind of, I fell into being a first AD. That's what I do for a living. I'm a first assistant director. I know a lot of people don't know what that is or that entails. But it's basically building schedules for productions and keeping those schedules on time and on budget. So, stress feed job.
right.
Reason why I don't have me here. And I've done all kinds of different. I've done a lot of comedy stuff, Broad City, and the FX show Louie and Flight of the Conchords. I've run the gamut of different things. So this past year was a busy year. I did a Steven Soderbergh produced film. I was shooting in New York. That's going to be on Netflix. And then I did an indie feature with Journey Smollett in Chicago, and then I was just recently in Boston with Liam Neeson and Ron Perlman. It's been a busy year.
Yes. Oh my goodness, that's so amazing. So I'd love to hear. So you mentioned some of the earlier projects that you'd worked on were specifically in the genre of horror. Is that a passion of yours? Has that come to be a passion?
I was very honest. We had an interview a while back, and I was very honest. I am not a horror person.
Really?
When you work in film and you work in production in particular, you don't really have a choice in the genre that you work in, right? And it's also a great thing about it too, because you can I've done comedy, drama, horror, so you get to dabble in all kinds of different, whereas maybe actors and directors don't get that kind of, creative, opportunity. Certainly what drew me to this was, it's always fun to work with things with people who have passion for what they're doing, And so when maybe they lack in experience or what have you, to be able to help get a vision off the ground. And to be quite honest, in between my jobs as a first AD, I've been directing. So I've been doing music videos and short films and mini docs and anything I can sort of get my opportunity to direct. I mean, that's kind of the ultimate goal, for me. And then a friend of mine who was one of the producers, Kimberly, who knew that I was, been directing on the side and was dabbling and stuff. Somehow she had this idea that I would be perfect for this. I'm not a huge horror person. But I think what I like about the story, though, that it's not just a horror story. When, like Olivia was saying, it is a story that I think everybody can relate to. Certainly, people who want to have a career in the arts, in that pursuit of trying to get your whatever vision it is, writing or filming or painting. That struggle, what you kind of go to actually get those things off the ground. Everybody can relate to that. So.
Yeah.
Can I jump in really quickly and just, Lugo says he's not a horror person, but I have to say, like, I think that's the greatest addition to like why we work so well, like as a team, because I'm like very horror, but I also am really drawn to horror that's based in real life, like reality. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And I think Lugo has a really wonderful eye for like keeping people within that as I like advance and like rewrite the project and rewrite the script. He's always like keeping me grounded in the core of that, which is really kind of, as we always say, like we're looking at the human condition, as like Nancy always says, we're looking at the human condition, which is the core of this story, essentially, horror or not. So I gotta give Lugo his props, you know what I mean? He might not be a horror person, but he's certainly, making this project so much more stronger as we continue.
That's amazing. I'm curious, for you, Olivia, I'm very curious, what was your indoctrination into the horror genre? Because there's a lot of people in the chat here voicing like, oh my goodness, they're excited to hear someone so passionate about it, because I know it's not for a lot of people. So what was it for you? Like, is there a specific film or memory that really sparked your passion for it?
So my parents early on exposed me to Alfred Hitchcock. So I think like the Twilight Zone, that's the kind of horror that I like. Like it's very it's very about twisting reality, like what's in front of you. And so I think like early on, me and my dad, like he's the one I can always count on to go and see whatever, basically, like the scariest movie alive is like like lineage back in town. And so I think having that foundation and a lot of those childhood memories of watching, these films with my family and just like us making an event out of them and us making time together around those different films and talking about it afterwards, I always cherished. And I think it allowed me to see like beyond, the gore, beyond the slash, you know what I mean? It was, those experiences were super meaningful. And somehow I fell into Tales from the Dark Side and like Tales from the Crypt and stuff. And that used to be like my afternoon elementary watch while everybody was watching Caillou. I'd be watching it.
Are you serious?
That's the first thing I thought about when I read the script. I think I told you that.
Yeah, you told me that, and that was like the biggest compliment ever, because those were my after school.
I say that I'm not a horror person, but I probably watch every episode of all those shows. So.
Exactly. Thank you.
Wow.
So yeah,
it really had an impact if it's like manifesting in your work as well. The inspo is clear.
Yeah.
I'm just picturing a 7-year-old like Olivia after school. Everyone else is watching like Blue's Clues, SpongeBob.
But first programming definitely.
Yes. Wow.
I mean, that was a big part of all of our childhood. R.L. Stein, Goosebumps. I used to love. I still love Goosebumps.
Those books are incredible. Actually, wow, a blast from the past. That's so true. Oh my goodness. I'm so curious. I always ask this to people who are actually really passionate about horror, because I also waver on like, I have a threshold for it. So when I encounter someone who really ingests a lot of horror content, I always have to know, is there a film or a project or something that even like gets to you? Like, what do you find to be like the scariest thing that you've watched?
I have to say, Ari Aster, Hereditary, of all the things that I've seen, that movie, I could not look around corners for like 3-4 days after watching that movie. I woke up, my heart was pounding in the middle of the night, cringed and sweat like after watching that. But the beautiful thing about that movie is it's like it's about family trauma. You know what I mean? Like it's not about slashing and war. Like the scariest part is like something that could happen to any of us, in my opinion.
It's so real.
Actually, crazy enough, if you've all seen the movie, you know what happens to the sister. That was based off of something that happened in my town, you know? So it's just, Conyers, an odd place.
Wow.
So, you know, I think that movie too was incredibly scary. His other movie, Midsummer, that was about, like,
that one messed me up.
Yeah, those types of films really get to me because it's just like, this stuff is present, you know? So yeah. No, that's actually really, really intriguing to hear. I'm going to pivot to Lugo because I'm genuinely curious from a filmmaking production standpoint. Are there different challenges, or is it a different experience in general tackling a horror genre? You know, what does the horror production pose that might be different from just, say, a typical drama or rom-com, for also people watching who might not know what goes into a horror production?
I would say that it gets messy. That's a good way to put it. Yeah, I mean, there's challenges. I mean, obviously, you know, shooting like a rom-com or something, you don't really concern yourself too much with shooting in continuity. Whereas in horror, a lot of times when you're shooting in sequence, you kind of have to, because if there's going to be a lot of blood involved and all those kinds of things, resetting those kind of things can be a nightmare. So it kind of actually just makes logical sense to try to shoot it in order, which is probably not the norm for a normal movie.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, other than that, you know, you're doing a lot of nights, so hopefully you're a night person and can handle overnight.
Get that caffeine going.
That can take you know, think that you're a night person, and when you have to do it for like 4 weeks in a row, it can be trying and very exhausting. So,
speaking of,
sorry.
Go ahead. No, Olivia, please go ahead.
No, I was gonna make a joke. I was gonna say 50% of our budget is for coffee and caffeine.
Lots of coffee. That's awesome.
Gentle reminder again, that campaign link is at the bottom of the screen. You heard it, y'all. They're gonna need a lot of Starbucks happening.
Good stuff.
So on that note, like, speaking of night shoots, I'd love to hear more if you're willing to share your 2014 project, A Girl Walks Home Alone at Night. If you can share insight into the production of that for those who might not have seen it, or inspire, you know, other filmmakers. Like, what was that experience like?
You know, I think I was not the original first AD on it, so I didn't really prep the movie. The movie's in Farsi for people who haven't seen film, so the movie is in language I don't know.
Wow.
And so it was interesting to sort of try to cue actors in a language you don't know. You just kind of do it by sound. It was, you know, it was Anna Lily Amapour was the director. It was her first feature. I really think, honestly, kind of her first production. She had done a couple of really small shorts with like a very, very small crew of people. So this was like her first like big movie. And it was, for people who've seen it, I mean, it seems like a very big story, and it is a huge story, but we did it like in 21 days. And a lot of the storylines that we shot actually didn't make the movie, which was a very smart move on her part, because it was a lot, and it was a very big story, and it was a lot more characters, and it was, you know, all these interesting little tangents that we went on, but she kind of, you know, she kind of stuck to the heart of the movie, which was a very smart thing. She definitely knows what she's doing. Very talented. It was a difficult shoot, you know. It was a lot. It was a small budget. We were in a town in California, and I'm trying to remember the name of the town. Oh, Leeds. Leeds, California, which to me, I'm from New York, so I don't really know California, but it was described to me as the crystal meth capital of the world. That's going into it.
What an introduction.
And and it kind of lived up to it a little bit, because we had a lot of troubles while we were shooting. A lot of people didn't like what we were doing, and some of the artwork that we had set decorated on street corners and stuff got vandalized more than once while we were shooting, which was very disappointing.
Wow.
But it was definitely a passion project of hers, and it kind of rubbed off on everybody, and whatever kind of lack of crafty or lack of whatever kind of resources, it was just that there was a spirit of creativity to the project that everybody kind of just pitched in. And there was a lot of times we were shooting on the weekends, on our days off, just in order for us to get revision on the screen, and everybody's kind of caught up in that. Now that doesn't happen all the time, especially when you're working with a crew that's used to a certain level of whatever. But certainly, she just kind of had so much. She just believed in it, and it rubbed off on everybody, and we were willing to go the extra mile.
Yeah, that's amazing. Well, thank you for sharing more about the production aspect. I sense a similar theme here. The passion. It's contagious. Yes.
It accounts for a lot,
Yeah, 100%. So speaking of production, I'm sure people are curious. What is your anticipated shoot date? What is your guys' shoot going to look like? Whatever you're allowed to share about your anticipated production.
Olivia, I'll leave that
to you.
Yeah. Okay. So obviously we're in the crowdfunding stage right now. Our crowdfunds. Yeah, we're in the crowdfunding stage right now. So we're hoping to secure all of our funding, so we can stay on schedule. When that happens, because I'm going to say it is going to happen.
It is.
Yes, it is. Exactly.
It will.
Manifest it, claim it, all of that. Here for it. We're hoping to shoot late May. Yeah, so it'll be a 2-day shoot in late May, early June, depending, but that's the schedule as of now.
Nice. Well, again, everybody, I'm going to become a broken record. I already am by the end of the stream, but just in case you haven't seen it flashing across your screens this entire time, please, if you are enjoying the conversation tonight, or if you want to find out ways that you can help out or support, truly every little bit is incredibly appreciated and is so incredibly generous. If you are willing, please definitely again check out that campaign. If you're like me and you just want to continue rewatching Olivia's awesome video where she shares more about the project, you can rewatch it there. All the information is at that link. And again, if you have any interest, please do help support this incredible project. Well, Olivia Lugo, thank you so much for letting me pick your brains. This was I'm learning so much about the horror genre. Again, I feel like your passion, Olivia, I'm starting to, I am like a self-professed, I cannot watch horror, but this is inspiring me. I feel like I have to build up my threshold.
Yeah, definitely.
Yes.
Maybe wait on Terrifier 2 when we talk to Marcus. That horror.
True. Speaking of, we are going to welcome executive producer of Terrifier 2 and someone that I have the privilege of having worked with. He is so incredible. We actually bonded we were on set the exact same day that the Kenobi show dropped for my fellow Star Wars fans, and all day we were just don't go online, no spoilers. So Marcus is an incredible person. I'm so excited to reconnect with him this evening, and I'm sure you guys are Terrifier 2 fans here. So without further ado, please join me in welcoming Marcus to the stage.
Speaking of surprises, kids, we have a very special guest with us today. Now, for a guy who doesn't speak, he sure makes a lot of noise. All the way from Miles County, please welcome Art the Clown.
you?
Catherine. Hey, how's it going?
Thank you so much for being here. Truly, it's a treat to see you again, and of course, so incredibly thrilled for you and the entire Terrifier to team on your huge success. This film absolutely blew up. I might add, to the point that even the likes of Stephen King himself were buzzing about it. I mean, I could not. Everywhere I went, on every social media platform, I just saw people talking about this movie. So I would love to hear more about your experience working on it and the reception that it has had.
Well, I actually met Damien and the Fuzz on the Lens guys and David Howard Thornton at a buddy of ours convention in 2019. Well, was it 2018? 2019. And we just hit it off. I was asking him I was considering going back to school for film and asking him, was it worth it? And Damien just dropped knowledge on me as far as gain more experience, just being on set and actually doing it and picking everyone's brain. And that's, what I've been doing. We kind of forged, a good camaraderie and friendship, and I try to stay in touch with them as much as possible. I was on set just for the club scene, the party scene, and what those guys did was brilliant. Look at that. It took them 3 years to make it. Damien, like he said, initially planned it to be, just a short filming process, and it wound up being 3 years because of COVID. But you see the finished product and the passion that those guys put into it with such a small crew to be able to pull that off. With the Fuzz on the Lens guys, man, Michael Levy, Jason Levy, Stephen De La Sala, George Stuber, the DP, Faye Emilo Johnson. I know I'm missing some people, but just watching those guys work when I was there, Phil Falcone, the producer, just watching those guys while I was there, man, it's just, I was in awe, and I said, this is gritty filmmaking. They're passionate about it. They're horror fans and they're making films for us, as fans. So yeah, it's great. And then I got to turn around to work with those guys again on our upcoming film Stream, which will, be releasing later this year, sometime this year. I don't know the date, so don't quote me on that. But yeah, it's just been an awesome experience, man. And I'm just excited for this project.
Yeah. Oh my gosh, that's so amazing. Again, so exciting to hear how it started and then the ensuing success and buzz. Like, truly amazing payoff. The film, that's got to be so exciting, seeing the positive reception and the reviews just pouring in. And it sounds like it was a great learning experience for you as well.
Very much so. And like I said, I try to just stay in contact with these guys as much as possible and just ask them questions. And I'm just hoping to be able to maintain that good working relationship and friendship like they have, because they're all from like Staten Island, New York.
Oh, fun.
So I just want to continue to learn from them and hopefully be able to pitch projects to them that I can get made through them. So if I just continue, that's the great thing about the horror community is that they stay tightly knit, and this person will pass this project along to the next, or this person will come DP for that, while that person will write a script for the next. So it's just an awesome community and awesome filmmakers. And yes, they're not big, studio blockbusters or studio films, but that's what makes the films great. When they're independent and just, you have people that are truly passionate about making films that fans will love.
That's so true. Oh, that's so amazing to hear. So in regards to the horror community, as you've spoken to, and the genre in general, from what I can recall, you are also an avid horror fan, correct?
Yes.
Or how
Yes.
did your interest... Okay, good. My
Mom,
memory is not failing me. Yes, please share. How did that get started?
so my mom is not gonna like this. I'm gonna put her on blast, and she claims that she doesn't remember, but it's actually one of my fondest memories. But she took me to go see A Nightmare on Elm Street opening night in '84,
Wow.
and I was just 4 years old.
What?
And so so that stuck with me. I think she used it to like kind of scare me. If I recall, it was like whatever grade you're in, preschool or whatever at that age, kindergarten or whatever. I don't know. I guess I kept falling asleep when I was supposed to be active with the other kids, and I
Oh.
think she used that to like kind of terrify me to stay awake, and it worked. So, but I think the bug for me was Scream 2 filmed at an all-girl college in Decatur, Georgia, where I kind of grew up.
Yeah.
At Agnes Scott College. And we
Mhm.
used to sneak, it's an all-girls school, we used to sneak on the campus to talk to the girls. And so
Nice.
one weekend we snuck on the campus and they were filming some of the college scenes
No
on the campus.
way.
Yeah, so I got to meet some of the cast members like Jamie Kennedy and Nev, and I told them this story when I met him again at Monster Mania. What was it, like 2 years ago? And so that was the bug for me. That's what got me into wanting to be a filmmaker. You know, so yep.
Wow, you and Olivia both little tykes watching your first
Oh man, I
horror
could tell you,
films.
I was watching. My aunt and uncle on my father's side introduced me to horror too, and I was watching films like what is that, Razorback, that Australian film about the hawk, and of course Jaws and Halloween and Tales from the Crypt and Twilight Zone, and The Howling is my all-time favorite horror film, and that's what got me into the lore of werewolves. And Dee Wallace is my number one scream queen. So
Yeah.
it's a pleasure to have met her, and she's a part of Stream as well. So to be able to circle around and be able to meet and work with people that you grew up on is a dream come true. You know?
Yeah. That is incredible. Are you able to share more about your upcoming project, Stream, or is it still
Stream is in
secret?
Stream is in post production right now, so that's up to the Fuzz on the Lens guys. They still have the Indiegogo
Okay, sweet.
program growing. But the experience I will share is that I actually I had COVID and I was in the hospital for an extended period of time. And when I survived that and got out of the hospital, I immediately went to set. They allowed me to go to set after recuperating for a period of time, to make sure I was okay, safety protocols. And we had some amazing experience at the Eisenhower Hotel in Gettysburg, and we had the hotel to ourselves and filming the film. So again, that was a learning experience, watching Mike Levy direct, watching Steve De La Salle as the BP, and George, I think, was first AC for that, if I'm not mistaken. But just seeing how those guys work well together, man, and the camaraderie we had in that hotel, and some ghost stories with that I could share at a later time. So yeah, we witnessed some things on that set, and yeah, it's just great learning from these guys, man, and seeing how passionate they are for the genre, and how passionate I am for the genre. And I'm just looking for Color River to make this an awesome project, and we plan on doing something with it after we shoot it. But we'll talk about that at a later date once everything, comes into.
Exciting. Well, yes, speaking of what we're all here to celebrate this evening, what was it about the Colored River project that stuck out to you, drew you to it? What is it about it that you want to be involved?
So my mentor, and she's a mentor of Olivia's as well, and you know her, Kimberly Skern. I interned with her while I was in the hospital, and now I'm her producing partner and line producer. She introduced me to Olivia, and Olivia sent me the script, and I thought it was a profound script. It talks about the experience of being exploited for our talents, by other people and by other cultures, and
Mhm.
I felt like it really touched home, and a lot of people will be able to relate to it. I mean, because if you look at like professional athletes, or in this case, writers or musicians, people are making good money for what they do, but at the same time are being exploited because of
Mhm.
how gifted they are at what they do. So this was an interesting topic to tackle, and I felt Olivia wrote an awesome script. And with Daniel coming in to direct, he shared his ideas to flesh it out a little more. And again, Olivia could talk on that. We're going to even flesh it out even more. I'll let her be the one to, tell the idea whenever she's ready to talk about it. But yeah, it'll be fleshed out even more. So.
Oh, wow. That's amazing. Oh my gosh. Olivia is I just got to give a shout out to her again while she's not here to stop me. She is so incredibly talented, and I have the privilege of getting to work with her. Not only is she clearly an incredible writer, but she is a phenomenal actress, and I have the privilege to watch her
Yes.
perform on a regular basis. So I just have to plug that while she's not here to stop me. But that's so amazing to
Yes.
hear about your experience reading the script. I would love to hear, knowing that you are such an avid fan of horror. I'll ask you the same question I posed to Olivia. What is there a film for you that was able to get to you, and what are your visions for the genre going forward? What would you like to see within the world of horror films in the
Uh,
future?
so like I said, The Howling is my all-time favorite film, and Scream 2, my personal connection to it, is one of my favorite films.
Yeah.
So those films stand out the most to me more than anything. As far as the future of horror, I feel like now we're getting back, especially with films like Terrifier, Barbarian, Smile. We're getting back to more that indie horror than big studio projects. And I feel that is going to be the resurgence and will command basically the genre for coming forward. Whether or not people flocking to the theaters like they used to will happen, sooner than later, I don't know. I feel like now, because of the pandemic, people are comfortable with being home now, with their home theaters and streaming services and streaming platforms. And it makes it easier for them, easier to access these films. I feel like now people are going to make films for that purpose. And I think that, or for those platforms, and I think that'll be more successful, in the long run, while the theaters start to regain its, strength. So
yeah, that's actually really insightful into how just the whole scope of cinema and how we ingest it is ever changing still. I mean, I can't even imagine what streaming and, as you said, platforms are going to be like even just 2 years from now. So that's actually such a great point. Genuine final question. This actually could go for all of you, working on a horror film, but especially one like Terrifier 2, which is known to have really affected people to the point of some viewers having to actually leave the theater during their viewing experience. Is there something about the experience of working on a film like that, that kind of removes, you have the veil is lifted because that it's fiction and you worked on it and you saw the behind the scenes? Does it not impact you as much, or does it make it all the more fun?
No, Damien and them, those guys are amazing, man, because they're hard workers, and they're about their business. And Phil, as a producer, is amazing to watch. I learned a lot from him, and I'm continuing to learn a lot from him. Asking him questions, keeping a tight schedule, but they made it fun. They made it fun and lighthearted. And Damien talks about the things that they did, with the bedroom kill, how fun it was. I wasn't there for that, but the story that they told about it it's just, you could imagine how fun it was just to be there and all the laughs. But even in the club scene, it was a New Jersey club. I forgot the name of it. We were just cracking jokes and dancing and just, when you're around somebody like Jason Levy, who is just hilarious, like you cannot be around this man and not laugh, like to the point where your ribs are hurting. That type of set is just what makes it enjoyable, and you would think that when you see what you see in these kill scenes and the macabre and everything, it's all serious. It really isn't. It's serious to the point where you got to get your shot. You got to get your shots on time and stay within budget. But they make it lighthearted to be able, for the actors to be able to complete the scenes.
Yeah.
So they don't be psychologically messed up.
Yeah, I've always wondered that. Like, how are the cast and crew like, okay, how do you like clock out at the end of the day and then go home and go to sleep at night after like filming something like that? So that's actually really exciting to hear.
I didn't expect for like Damien allowed a lot of the supporters like myself as an EP and just even supporters of the Indiegogo campaign that they had to be in the film.
Mm-hmm.
And so, you catch me briefly in the scene in Sienna's scene when she freaks out, when she sees the little pale girl. I'm behind her, doing my best two-step to stay within the frame. While we were in like holding and everything, we were playing cards, we were listening to music. We had to stay quiet so it wouldn't mess up the takes and stuff. But even on the set, we were just sitting there just dancing and keeping it lighthearted, and while they were setting up for the next shop, but you'll see Damien in the corner just like deep in thought, like what is he going to do next, how he's going to frame Lauren or how he's going to frame David, or so it was just fun, man. It was a great experience to be there those 3 days, and I wish I could have been there longer, but I was like ill and dealing with my personal issues. But again, Stream was an awesome experience, and that was an amazing learning experience, especially after what I went through. So I'm just hoping to work with these guys again, and I'm looking forward to Color River, even though it's a 2-day shoot, for that to be an awesome experience.
Yeah.
And, being able to work with somebody like Lugo, who has an amazing track record. So I know that I'm going to learn a lot from him, so.
That's so amazing. This has been such a learning experience for me as well. And again, Marcus, it was so amazing to see you again and to chat. And you also, it's so great to be surrounded by people who you can really feel the passion, and it's been such a thrill talking with you and nerding out about horror. So thank you so much for being here. We have our final guest. Last but not least, I'm so excited about everybody tonight because another great, incredibly amazingly talented friend of mine. We have the artist, for those of you who have been seeing the visual promotion materials, posters, graphics, all of that beautiful digital artwork is done by one of my dear friends, Nate, who is here with us, I believe, this evening as well to talk more about that process. So Nate, why don't you come up and join us? Nate!
Hey guys, how's it going?
Thank you so much for being here and tuning in from your current rodeo. We appreciate you making time to be here to share more about your artwork. And again, I just can't say it enough. You are so talented, and I've had the pleasure of seeing your work when we were in school together and whatnot. So I would love to hear more about your creative process and what the planning was like, just in general. What is the creative process and the work that goes into creating a campaign like this and doing character posters and whatnot for a film?
Well, first I read the amazing story by Olivia, and then I read it like 4 more times because I just couldn't get enough. And then I noticed there was a similarity between the main character's name and like the historical demon Lilith. So I just looked at a ton of old paintings and tried to match like the dead gaze that like a lot of them had in depicting demons. It's pretty fun, honestly. I got like deep into horror. I didn't even realize I liked it this much.
Yeah, I was gonna say, is this like a kind of artistic, genre that you've really worked in before, or was it also a learning experience for you as well?
I haven't really done much in the horror aspect. I grew up in a fairly religious household, and that was kind of frowned upon. So I didn't even think of that as like an avenue as I got older. But I'm like, wow, there's a whole world I haven't even explored. It's amazing.
Yeah. So for those who don't know, and me, myself included, because we did go to school together, but we had very different, technical passions or whatnot. So you created all these digitally. These are digital paintings, correct? Could you explain what that might be to some people who only know traditional artwork or whatnot? What is the process of creating a digital painting?
Well, occasionally I'll start with a sketch and then I'll scan it in. But for these, I did it mostly digitally, so I could kind of like rework stuff as Olivia had changes she'd like to express and everything. But I mean, it's pretty straightforward, It's just like drawing and then adding layers and then getting fancy if you feel like it.
Yes, this is so exciting for me. I feel like we're back in the good old days. So, I would love to hear which piece was your favorite to work on, or which one proved to be the most challenging, because I know oftentimes, at least with portraiture especially too, which I know is a specialty of yours, you can start out a piece having a vision and then you get halfway through and you're like, this is going completely astray from what I initially planned. Did you lean into that, or did you find that arise at all during the production process?
Well, I mean, I feel like I usually like doing portraits that are like more clean and neat looking. So I think the one of Lily sitting on the chair was the hardest for me, because I kept wanting to like smooth things out and like make it look perfect. And I was like, no, I have to like make her look more tired. I have to make her nails like, I don't know, all chipped up and everything. But I mean, it was still very fun.
Leaning into the grit. Well, I'd say you did an incredible job, because they definitely all have. I'm serious. The color palette and that bright red kind of the saturated red theme throughout, despite the kind of more contrasting, more darker undertones. You definitely achieved the horror, the goal you were going for. Would you say that was the most challenging piece for you, or was it your favorite one to do? Which do you have?
It was both. It was a challenge, and it was a fun challenge I like doing.
Yeah, that is awesome. That's awesome. So this was your first. Would you want to do more like film posters after this experience, or was it?
Oh yeah, definitely.
Different,
It's just very fun hearing like the vision that the writers have and different people in the story have, because it kind of just like winds my perspective, and then I can make art that's like different, better. I don't know. Very enriching.
So true. Yeah, it's a huge collaborative process, and I know what you're saying as a fellow artist as well. It can be hard if you're just like working by yourself. It's a lot more fun, I'm sure, to have all of that input, and also to know that it's going into a larger project as well. Like, your medium is contributing to a whole film. It was so exciting for me too to have, like, obviously know the backstory of the pre-production and hearing about the experience from Olivia, but then seeing your imagery and your visuals, like, it made it all feel so real. I was like, oh my gosh, this is it. It's something not tangible, but for us, visual people, it's fun to have those character posters or whatnot. So I still remember my excitement when I saw your work after already having seen, again, knowing how talented you are. Your work is incredible, and I've always had a huge admiration for your ability to capture portraiture in a really unique way. So even after all that, my jaw still dropped when I saw your posters and how incredible they look.
I'm just glad I can still amaze you.
You never fail to, Nate. You never fail to. Well, thank you so much for joining in from your rodeo.
Yeah,
Your
no problem.
Friday the 13th.
I am lost, by the way. I don't know where I am. I've been outside for like 40 minutes.
Oh my gosh. Well, hopefully you can find your way back soon. Sorry that you left to come and join us, but we so
that's all
appreciate it.
good.
I'm going to plug Nate's Instagram. It's at Nate's Face. That's Nate's with a Z. If you want to go check out his portfolio is on there. I highly recommend you do commissions, right?
Oh yeah.
Yeah, I don't want to sign you up for anything you're not currently up for, but
No,
if you would
bring more chaos. That's what I say.
Yes, if you would like to check out more of Nate's work, please do go check it out. Oh yeah, it's literally his tag. That's right there at the bottom of his screen. If you would like
was
to
I
go
supposed to put my name?
and see, that's actually just his name, Nate's Face.
That's my birth name.
Yes, indeed. Well, thank you so much again, Nate, for being here and for sharing your talents with us. Again,
no
the
problem.
artwork is so amazing.
Thanks for having me here. This is great. It's a great team.
So it's an incredible team. I'm literally so excited and honored to be here again, everybody. I'm gonna plug it. We are here to support the Colored River film. Everyone has expressed so much passion here this evening, and I'm so excited to even just be in the presence of all of these incredible filmmakers. Again, if you are so inclined, it would be so appreciated if you could check out the link that is still continuing to scroll at the bottom of your screen. supportourstory.com/coloredriver. It truly does not go unappreciated. We are so incredibly excited that you're even here supporting. So if you are willing, please go and check that out. It truly means so much to everybody here. On that note, we're going to, I believe, welcome everybody back to the stage to close out. I can't believe it's already the end of our fun Friday the 13th special here. This is certainly the best, most appropriate Friday the 13th celebrations I feel like I've ever had. Truly spending the night right. So again, for anyone, this is interactive. So if anybody has any questions about the project or anything that they would like to ask any of the creators here, now is your chance. Do ask away, or if you are, there we go, from Facebook user, where's this being filmed?
So our producer Kimberly, we have the option of filming in her hometown up in Connecticut. So we may be considering that because of the style of home that we're looking to shoot, inside and out, the interior, exterior. So yeah, hopefully it'll be in Connecticut.
I feel like those northeastern U.S. vibes, right, are just so fitting for her.
Yes.
Yes.
Fun time. Cue for singing.
How does it feel directing, writing, and acting in your own work? Amazing question, Alice.
Yeah, thank you for the question. It feels really unreal, to be honest with you. I'm not even to be cheesy, but this all feels to be honest, that I'm gonna wake up from at any moment. I think I just realized how blessed I am, to have such an amazing team with me who, supporting me. And my manager, Nancy Scanlon, and also, Kimberly Sturm producing on the project as well. And just to have everyone supporting, it's been awesome, but also a challenge. Filmmaking this short film has pushed me, past heights that I didn't think that I could achieve, So it's been challenging, rewarding, and I think I'm just besting myself every day. So, yeah, long answer to that question, but yeah, that's how it feels.
That is amazing. Yes, huge shout out to Nancy Scanlon and Kimberly Skirm, who are an equally important part of this team, and I think we can all say they are incredible people in this industry. Yes, Nick Gundy. This is, Nate's artwork is what you have seen. posted at least to my YouTube page. I have it as the thumbnail on my page, at least, if that's where you're watching the stream. Yes! Everyone loves your work.
Oh my gosh, thanks guys. If I could blush, I would.
Yeah, Nate, your work's everywhere. Everywhere.
Best way to celebrate this spooky day.
Definitely,
Robert, thanks for coming, Robert.
Yes, Robert. Much love. Well, again, a friendly reminder. Huge shout out to those of you who have, if you've donated this evening. It's so appreciated. Again, one donation equals one ticket to be entered into a raffle for the chance to win private chat with Marcus and Lugo here. So if you are an aspiring filmmaker, if you're a huge Terrifier 2 fan, which I know some of you are, and you would like to pick their brains more in a private session, that is an opportunity if you donate this evening. So yes, definitely keep that in mind. And of course, thank you to Marcus and Lugo for being willing to offer more of their expertise here. Where can we see the film? Is there a way besides America? Yes, Colin lives in Germany. That's a very good question. Will this be viewable internationally? What are the options here?
We shall see. Like you said, we're still in pretty much pre-production, but yeah, we'll try to make it as accessible for everybody. As soon as we can, and the powers that be that'll allow us to make it international. So
100%. And please keep up with us in the project. We have a Facebook group. Also support our story. We'll be sending out updates for you all throughout the whole process. You know what I mean?
Yes.
I don't want to just stop talking to people after the donation. That's your family now, and so we definitely want you to stay updated with the project. And so as soon as we have all that, you'll know.
Yep.
Yes, I know I'm personally extremely excited. If tonight didn't get you all excited, I know I'm definitely looking forward to it. Do we have any other cues? Again, even just for being here tonight, even if you're silently watching or not active in the chat, it means so much to everybody here. We appreciate it. Well, I believe that might be it. Well, again, I just wanted to say it was a huge privilege to be here and to join all of you. And the passion is clearly so real. And I'm so incredibly excited for you all to embark on this. Again, I can't say it enough, so I'm just going to say it one more time. The campaign, if you would like to support, please, it would mean so very much. And it is so appreciated. If you have not already visited the link there at the bottom, supportourstory.com/coloredriver. Again, every bit counts truly. But even just your presence here tonight, if you've been watching, really means so much. Thank you so much for supporting this amazing team. Olivia, I idolize you. You are incredible. I have so much respect for you embarking on this project and your vision for the statement you want to make here in the horror genre. Lugo, thank you so much for your time and for being here with your incredible knowledge of this filmmaking industry. It was so enlightening to hear from you. Marcus, again, it was so amazing to see you again and pick your brain about Terrifier 2. I'm sure everyone you know is nonstop asking you about it, so thank you for putting up with me asking you even more. And of course, again, Nate, thank you so much for not only your incredible artwork, but for being here this evening to talk more about it. It was such a treat. And again, huge shout out to Nancy Scanlon and Kimberly Skirm, who are huge supporters of this project, as well, and to Nerdbox, who has been behind the scenes this entire evening. All of the graphics, everything you guys have seen. For those of you who are watching on my channel, you're probably in shock right now because I'm not capable of all of that. So that is because it's not me. It's Nerdbox. And definitely go and check out his channel as well if you are not subscribed and if you're watching this on YouTube. But again, go and support everybody here. Do you guys want to share your social media or where people can find you and connect with you?
Yeah, definitely.
Olivia?
Yeah, sure. You can find me on Instagram at Olivia Celine Actress. OLIVIACELINE Actress. I probably should share that. That's crazy. And then Facebook's Olivia Celine. So yeah, we'd love to connect.
Yes. Awesome. Marcus, Lugo, if you'd rather stay private and mysterious, that is okay too.
I'm gonna go with private and mysterious.
Okay, yes. Respect it.
No, you can find me on Instagram and Facebook at Marcus_J_McGill. The way my it says on the title card here.
Perfect.
Oh, with the underscores, of course.
Yeah. And Nate's face, as we discussed, his legal
Yep,
name.
my birth name, Nate's Face. That's where you can find me.
Sweet. Well, yes, definitely go and check all of them out, everyone. They are not only incredible filmmakers and people in the industry, but just incredible. Anything we've learned from tonight, incredible people as well. So please do support them in all of their endeavors. But can't forget Colored River again. One more time. One donation equals one entry into a very special raffle in which you have the opportunity to speak with Marcus and Lugo in a private session. So if that is something that interests you, please do go and support the campaign. Every little bit helps. But again, thank you to everybody who tuned in this evening. If you were watching at the beginning, and even if you're not here now, or if you've been with us the whole time, it truly means so much. Any closing remarks from anybody? Olivia, Lugo, Marcus?
Yeah, I just want to say thank you to everybody who joined us in the audience. This means so much to all of us. Also, thank you, Lugo, Nate, Marcus, for joining us tonight. You all are amazing. So lucky to have you on this creative team. Catherine, thank you so much for hosting. You are an amazing friend and amazing human being. And thank you to Nancy Scanlon and Kimberly Skirm, who aren't here right now. I think they're in the audience. Thank you so much for you all support on this project as well. And to everyone watching, stay tuned because Marcus mentioned it a little bit, but we will be having a feature of this hopefully down the road. So there's like a larger project connected to this. So stay tuned.
Amazing. Oh, I love it. What a great way. Thank you everybody for spending your Friday the 13th with us. If this didn't put you in the spirit, then I don't know what will. Everyone go watch a horror film tonight to celebrate. I think I probably will. I gotta build my threshold. But yes, thank you again, everybody. We hope you have a great weekend in store. One more time, supportourstory.com/colored river. I don't even care. Shamelessly, I am a broken record at this point. But thank you all so much for being here with us this evening. We truly appreciate it. And we'll see you all again very, very soon.
Thank you. Night.
Bye.